Hi, welcome to Blossom's webinar, Reimagining After School as a Multilingual Innovation Lab. I'm so happy to be here with you. My name is Eden Staffstrom. I like to joke that I am a professional language nerd. I am a linguist. I worked in language education at university and elementary levels, teaching both English and Spanish. And I am a multilingual mom. I raise my kiddos in both Spanish and English. And I have a picture here of them as well, reading in Italian with their grandma, which is also amazing. So lovely. I love sharing language with them, and I am so excited to share some language learning stuff with you guys today. So, so we put together this webinar for a couple of reasons. There's a couple of RFPs coming up, and a lot of the organizations that we've been talking to, the organizations we've been working with, have been talking to us about how to use new tools to meet RFP calls and standards. In particular, they're asking us, how do we meet language equity goals without adding to staff or workload? This is a super strategic question. There is a particular need to address this question in New York in particular. There was a recent comptroller report that puts it super well. 1 in 5 New York students is an English language learner, and 40% of those sampled were not being served adequately, according to their language needs. That's 80,000 kids not being supported. At the same time, the New York City's English language learning population has grown. A diverse linguistic landscape has always been part of New York City, but we're seeing an expansion of that today. About a 17% increase in the ELL population in New York City schools. And that diverse language landscape is changing. So while we're already struggling to meet the needs of high represented languages like Spanish, we're seeing growth in a lot of other languages like Arabic, Bengali, and Russian that have even fewer structures to support them. So there's a scramble across the city to meet these needs, to get these kids what they need. And at the same time, an enormous opportunity. If your program is one of the only programs meeting this need adequately, or even going above and beyond, your program will shine. So let's dream together a little bit right here. What if you could add a language club to your program right now? What if we could just jump to going above and beyond to meeting these language needs and also expanding the languages that might be offered at your program right now? Well, we find a couple of hesitancies when we talk about this kind of above and beyond language inclusion. The first thing we hear is that people think you need a dedicated club for each language. How are you supposed to teach Korean and Portuguese in the same classroom? Obviously, you need a Korean club, a Portuguese club. You need a space for each. We also hear people concerned about staffing issues. We need our staff to speak every language we offer. How are we supposed to offer Korean and Portuguese when our staff only speaks Spanish and English, right? And then third, we hear a lot of difficulties surrounding engaging multilingual families. Some people that even just think it's impossible. Thankfully, these are all myths. In fact, there is so much we can do right now to meet these needs using technology. We're in a golden age of technological innovation, and we can put that into language access as well. Okay, so in a language club, what would we do together? We could create and read together. Central to a language club is the use and experience of the language. Reading's a fantastic place to start. We have new tools available for a dynamic scaffolding between languages that we often call translanguaging. This is a dynamic blend system where we can slide a scale between one language and another. So we have an example here. Coming from English, we can scaffold up to Spanish, or just as easily, we could scaffold from Spanish and learn English if that's the language that we're working on. Using this system, we can read anything. We can read anything and scaffold for individual language needs as they grow and change. So, what could be in a translanguaged library? The short answer is anything, everything, all of it, right? Blossom, for example, has a translanguage library. It's preset, it exists in a dozen languages. And each language has a set of books displaying materials from STEM to cultural elements to digital health initiatives, all of them translanguageable, uh, instantly, right? Instantly accessible. All of them are aligned to standard sets, including ACTFL, WIDA, Common Core, Science of Reading. Um, they're right there at your fingertips. You could also upload your own materials and have them instantly translanguaged. Anything you can put in a PDF, you could just upload and have it immediately available, again, in a dozen languages with automatic text-to-speech capabilities, automatically generated comprehension quizzes, you name it, instantly. And important to after school programs, of course, is the ability to have fun. We're not limited to our desks. We're not limited to reading and comprehension questions. We can do more than that. Blossom offers a number of interactive games and a scaffolded quest loop that come after every reading activity. We've got creative coloring games paired with expressive language activities. We have interactive shouted out games or vocabulary identification games. We even have suggested classroom activities such as skits and role play and story map creation activities automatically suggested to you. With the right technological tools, it's also easier and easier to communicate with multilingual families and communities in order to foster that homeschool connection. This is really important to us here at Blossom, and we offer several tools related to it. For example, we have a tech-enabled live translation tool for those impromptu conversations you have with parents at drop-off or pickup. We also have a multilingual parent communication hub where you can send texts or emails, send them out in English or whatever language your staff member feels most comfortable in, and it'll be automatically received in the language that the parent is most comfortable in. They can respond and it goes back and forth, right? Everyone receives the message in the language they're most comfortable in automatically. We also facilitate parents and children reading together in whatever language they're working on and whichever language they're comfortable in at the same time. So parents are now empowered to engage with the materials that the actual materials that kids are seeing in school or in their after school program in a dynamic language environment they're both comfortable in. Finally, we also offer professional development and language learning courses for education professionals and after-school staff. Okay, so what if you could add a language club to your program right now? First of all, we would provide all of the tools for learning and engagement. Snap your fingers. It's there. We have it all for you right now. You could run the club. You don't need any special staff, any special linguistic training. It's easy to learn how to upload books. It's instantaneous to access any books that we already have. You can get going right now in a dozen languages. And everyone thrives. Multilingual learners build confidence. English-speaking students have the doors open to them to all world languages. And all students will develop crucial literacy skills. And again, all of this supported by the community, all of this embraced by families who finally have the means to connect with their schools and their after-school programs with our family engagement tools. So what are other programs doing to stand out? We at Blossom have had the privilege to work with several different programs throughout New York City, um, And this is just a small selection of some of the amazing programs that we've worked with. So PS 188 has a tech cafe, as they call it, which is a maker's lab for seventh and eighth graders. Using Blossom's publishing tools, their kids were able to publish their own work illustrated by them, written by them, about topics that they care about. So we had some kids write about bullying, write about body positivity issues, and they made really, really beautiful stories. We also worked in collaboration with them to publish a book about their program itself, explaining how their Makers Lab worked, how students are empowered in this course, and what they can expect. This really became a really powerful tool for kids to articulate what they're doing here and for parents to understand the ethos of this program. So that was really beautiful. We also worked with Grand Street Settlement Head Start program to produce a STEM initiative for their multilingual learners of early elementary levels, which was amazing. And we collaborated with the Anishinaabe Language Camp. This is a Native American revitalization language project. And they produced with us 50 stories in Anishinaabe their native language, to be used at this summer camp. This was really incredible to see. I've worked with a number of lesser represented languages in my career, and it's always a struggle to find educational materials for these programs. Blossom made it really, really easy to produce a large amount of material for this camp very quickly, which was amazing. Blossom helps meet DYCD goals. We can help fulfill key RFP requirements. There's a number of different goals listed within this RFP, some of them common to other RFPs as well, related to family engagement, creating a welcoming environment in your program, emphasis on helping kids grow in STEAM and literacy skills, developing creativity and confidence, of course, inclusion and accessibility of your programs, and then some metrics tracking and some focus on strategy and holistic approaches to child development. Blossom can help meet each of these goals and really help you get all of the points that you can on this RFP. It's an effortless implementation from your program's perspective. We're here to help. We want to be involved. We really care about New York City's multilingual population, and we want to make language a bridge, not a barrier. We can help you stand out in your evaluation. We can help demonstrate a concrete, cost-effective plan to serve New York City's growing, diverse communities. So, returning to our question at the beginning, how do we meet language equity goals without adding to staff or workload? It's easy with Blossom. Just send us an email at hello@iblossom.com. We would love to connect with you and even provide materials for you. We have tailored materials ready to strengthen your proposal today. Just reach out. We would be happy to work with you. Thank you so much.